Well, welcome back to Chiefs fans before we were cool.
Yeah. Is it cool to be a Chiefs fan or not right now? That's my question.
I think it's still cool personally.
I think we're still cool. Maybe even more cool because now we're not the one seed in the AFC, we're the two seed.
Yeah. Yep. And
We're doomed.
just like the Chiefs, we had to take a bye week. So the
You had to take a bye week and now I'm traveling, so it's a little different, but we're just gonna keep rolling with it. It'll be great.
yeah, yeah. And before we go any further, we'll wish everybody listening a happy Thanksgiving. I hope you get to spend time with family and eat food and watch some football. So those are my favorite things to do at
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thanksgiving. I don't know, like a lot of my family that I'm hanging out with aren't huge football people, so we'll see. Maybe I'll get to convince somebody to watch a game with me. They'll watch. Well, actually, I shouldn't say they aren't football people. I think usually what they'll watch are college games.
Yeah.
So,
Just tell them,
which is
hey,
great. I'm not into that as much as the NFL.
just tell them I need to watch this for my podcast. So you want to watch
That's
with me?
right. Well, the Chiefs don't play till Sunday,
Yeah, but
right?
they don't. They
So
don't.
I'll be home then. They don't know that. They don't
They
know
don't.
my
They don't
team.
need to know we don't talk about anything other than the Chiefs.
I love it. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. Just gonna have a good time, family, good food, good traveling. So yeah, just feeling great, very grateful for a lot of things. And you know what? I'm really grateful to be a Chiefs fan, even on a down week, for sure. We'll talk more about that in a bit,
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, let's start off with some memes. Got three ones this week. There's a
Yes.
lot I could have included, but they were too painful. So this first one we
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts when one of his teammates gets tackled on the 1 yard line.
It's a free touchdown, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty insane how good they are. I will say I wish the Chiefs approached it better. I don't believe in the whole jump on top of them, the pile. Like I just don't see how that makes sense. Like maybe you're trying to like hit it out or something. I've
Yeah.
never seen that work. I think you just have to dig down and push against it as best you can.
They
And to
need to.
massive humans, yeah,
Yeah. They need to go watch tape from the Commanders. The Commanders forced a fumble on a brotherly shove a few weeks back. So
yeah. So whatever they did, we should do. And I don't think the Commanders approached it that way. But I don't remember that watching that play specifically. But anyway, just it is what it is. But yeah, they're going to get that one. But I think the Chiefs did such a good job of never getting them into that position. Like I think that's the formula. Just don't get them to a short yardage situation.
yeah.
Which again, easier said than done. But like you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah, they only did
they
it twice in the game. There was a time where I thought they might on the third, but they tried to run another play first and ended up losing yards. So they took themselves out of
yeah,
position. So,
yeah,
um,
that was kind of weird. Yeah, that was a little too cute. You have the brotherly shove. Just throw it if you want, as long as Jalen Hurts is careful not to take a sack. But
yeah,
it's tricky. I mean, you could get a holding call if you throw it.
yeah.
Um, so
You could
but
also
you also
not get a
maybe take
holding
a shot
call if you throw it,
downfield.
but
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how those work, but
yeah. All
sometimes you
right.
just play it a certain way.
Next meme. Yeah, if somebody can catch a pass, that would be great.
Five drop passes
Yep.
is what I saw afterwards, and again, I think that only accounts for things that are right on the hands. So yeah, a lot of drop passes. Watching that with family here, they watched the Chiefs game with me, so that was nice. A lot of like, what are you gonna do? Like if they're not gonna catch those passes when they're right on there,
Yeah.
just again, a lot of them. You should maybe one or two, but not five when
Yep.
you're a professional at that level. So we'll talk more about that later in the game. But yeah, there's a lot of drop passes. Mahomes did everything he could have. The defense did everything I feel like they reasonably could be expected to do.
Yep.
But there were just miscues or things that weren't perfect there, um, and it cost us the game.
And the save the best for last. One of these
I
guys is a finalist for Sexy Man Alive, Sexiest Man Alive, and the other is dating Taylor Swift. There's still hope for you.
yeah,
So,
that is so funny. Looking at their old college ones, obviously.
yeah.
Um, Yeah, I don't know. I like to Adrian, my wife and I will joke about how like if we met each other in high school, would we like each other? Or college, early in college, would we like because we met after college basically for both of us. And so it's funny, like you don't think about how much you grow as a person during that time. And I
Yeah.
think both Jason and Travis have grown as people into men, right, a little bit since then. So it's a
Yeah.
lot going on, and maybe the Swift effect was hurting him. She wasn't able to be at the game, and Travis Kelsey didn't have his best game. He did fine though. Like frankly, I didn't. I thought this
Yeah.
was kind of like he got a touchdown, 40 some yards. And when you're double triple team the whole time, then what are you going to do? Like, yes,
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes probably could get it to him, but I think he played his role pretty well, other than that drop pass. But he made up for it by catching the next one immediately. So
Yeah.
to get us on the fourth down. But
Yeah.
I don't
So
know. It's such a tricky thing. But anyway, yep, good memes. That last meme,
yeah, as
I
somebody
was
who knew
dying.
you in high school, I could say, for instance, you didn't have that great beard that you have now in high school.
That
So,
that is
you know,
that is true. I did not have a beard until my senior year of college.
yeah, I think maybe
Actually,
in
it was
high
a year
school you did
after
a little
college.
bit of you maybe one time grew the mustache a little bit, but at that point in your life, it didn't
Yeah,
look
it
good.
was
It didn't
bad.
look good.
It did not look good. It was a mistake, and yet I kept it for senior photos. For some reason, my parents did not tell me to shave it. They were pretty hands off on stuff like that. Uh, I kind of wish I would have had some friendly, loving advice in my life. Some people to say, "Get out of it, get
Yeah,
rid of it."
yeah,
No shave. Most shave November or whatever for you. Get rid of that mustache, at least for your photos, because these are your senior photos. But whatever, they're there now forever, timeless.
timeless.
So it's
They're
all
not
right.
going anywhere. The internet is forever, right? So,
The internet is forever. Yeah, that's true. Awesome. So a couple stats. We probably won't go through all the stats we would normally do, but a couple stats that stood out. I'm actually going to reference ones that were referenced on the broadcast. So if you're watching the broadcast, I thought they were interesting though.
okay.
So one of them was that L'Jarius Sneed was the most penalized defensive back in the NFL, which I thought was pretty interesting. Although, and what they said, and when I heard that, I was like, "But he's playing them tough, and most of the time, like again, at pass interference, if they're pretty much going to catch the ball, isn't a big deal. Like he's playing such good defense, I don't really care. If he gives up a holding or some weird thing there. So that surprised me a lot though, because I was like, he's playing really well, but apparently he's been penalized a lot for that tough play. For what's worth.
Yeah,
A couple other things. Drew Tranquil was doing some good tackling. We had I think the second most sack. I was like also not giving up a lot of points or yards is incredible. So good job to the defensive front and the way that they're playing together. It just seems like it's a collective effort. It's not just and then the fact that we have scored I think the least amount of points in the second half, which we'll talk about more. So those
yeah,
are three stats that were mentioned in the broadcast, but I just wanted to highlight them as things we'll probably address further on
yeah.
the
Another
episode.
stat that was important is in the first half alone, we rushed on Philly more than most teams were in entire games.
Mm,
So I think that
it was
could be
so
important
good.
when
We
we maybe play
dominated.
them again in February, hopefully. So having a little bit of internet trouble tonight, I think, but you know what? You're traveling, I have internet troubles. We just roll with these punches. So,
That's right. That's right. So repeat what you're saying. You're talking about the rushing
oh yeah,
and how it
so
might.
I think that's an important thing that might come in handy to remember come February.
Mm,
Because when we'll talk about the game, talk this. Not only do I think there's a good chance when we make the Super Bowl, it will be the Eagles, but I want it to be the Eagles now. We'll talk about that when we talk about the game a little bit more. Um,
mhm.
so
But you're right. February, a good rushing attack is pretty critical.
yeah,
We haven't traditionally leaned on it enough. We'll talk about that more. But anyway, so yeah, we'll talk about that more. But that's a really good point to bring up. I think you're right. That could be part of the solution to our problems right now.
Now, a slight change of pace. I'm going to ask you some, they're not brother wonder questions because these were things I wondered myself. And I'm not my own
Mhm.
brother. So I don't know how that works, but Joel wonder questions. Which Chiefs player would make the best candidate for the show The Bachelor?
Oh, for The Bachelor,
Yeah.
um, I mean, it would have been Travis Kelsey,
Yeah, that's an
frankly.
obvious pass could one would have been.
But I mean, he already tried it and it didn't work very well.
Yeah.
Um, who would be a good one at that entertaining? Like maybe it would be like I remember hearing Chris Jones on the New Heights podcast.
Mhm.
And he was pretty funny, like the way he did it. So he might be good. But the other person I remember hearing talk and be pretty entertaining and stuff was Creed Humphrey.
Okay.
Might be a different thought there too.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like maybe Pacheco. I'm just throwing names out.
Yeah.
That's a hard question, honestly. Who would make the best
Yeah.
Bachelor? I think Chris Jones would be the one that would be the most entertaining for me to watch
Yeah.
as someone who I don't think I've ever watched a full episode of that show.
Yeah.
So
If you're going off of purely physical traits and not how well known they are, my answer is Tommy Townsend because that hair is majestic, you know. So just every shot would be blowing in the
you're right.
breeze.
You know what? The hair.
Yeah. So and then this
Mm,
one, this question
that'd be
for you.
great. Maybe he could be on The Bachelorette,
Maybe he could be on the Bachelorette.
like one of the contestants.
And then he could keep making jokes, be like, "Oh, what do you do?" It's, I'm a professional football player. And they look at like how scrawny he is, like, really? Really, you're gonna stick with that. So
Yeah,
um
yeah, that would be great.
what is the most exciting Chiefs game you remember watching?
Chiefs game I've ever watched.
Yep.
Yeah, you're back with me. I think I can't. Again, it's not super exciting. I wish I had watched that Rams Chiefs game where they scored all those points. I would have loved that. I mean, I think we lost, so it wouldn't have been my favorite. But
Yeah.
that first Super Bowl win against, like, I mean, you can't stop that. Although the Houston game at the beginning, where it felt like same old Chiefs thing,
Yeah.
that the fact that we came back again, that was the beginning of that really exciting time.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Chiefs against the Wasp play, like, oh,
Yeah.
it's too
Yeah.
fun.
Hopefully the technical difficulties are gone for the night. One of the exciting things about this being a fun hobby of ours is the equipment doesn't necessarily match up with the desire all the time. But yeah, the games you mentioned are all games that are on my top list. The Rams game, because we lost, it can't be my favorite, even though objectively that was an incredible football game. But that first Super Bowl, starting with the Texans game, but I think the other one I think of is that Bills game where we came back with
Oh
13
yeah,
seconds to tie it and to go into overtime. So yeah, that was
that was insane. That was insane.
that was
13
yeah.
seconds. I was out of my mind. That was a
Yep.
good call. Good call.
13 seconds now
Awesome.
to the Bills is what double
Oh,
doink is to the Bears. You just that triggers them if you say those words. So
yeah. That's hard, There, we'll see how they go. I mean, we'll talk about this later, but one of the things I've noticed though, even with that loss, we're half a game back of the Ravens.
yeah.
Like, so we're still very much even in it for the bye.
Yep.
Um, so anyway, for
Yep.
what it's worth.
Let's go ahead and talk about the game because I know we have lots
Mm,
of thoughts and feelings about that. Um,
yeah.
so yeah, you want to go first? Big impressions you had?
Look, I think I've hinted at a lot of things that I thought about the game. One, we talked about this at the Broncos game. We talked about this with I mean, even looking back to the first loss. we are really blessed. I'm very thankful to be a Chiefs fan and to be a part of a team where when they lose to a Super Bowl caliber team, it's kind of devastating and surprising a little bit. Like the Chiefs are great. Are they up to Super Bowl standards? Maybe not, but we just won last year.
Yeah.
So if it takes a year to rebuild with these wide receivers, it takes a year. Do we need to sign somebody next year? Probably. I wouldn't trust the rebuild at this point after almost a full season, a good chunk of a season with them and a couple of them even last year. Like I'm not banking on these receivers, but I am banking on the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid figuring things out. I was encouraged by the run game against
Mm.
Philadelphia, a strong run defense, and we were like, we don't care, we can run on anybody. So that was a really good decision. Unfortunately, the receivers struggled. We had the Travis Kelsey fumble, which he fumbles like I don't know, his fumble rate is so low. So it happens every once in a while. It seems like every time it does, we lose that game. But you
Yeah.
like it's not his fault in the sense that it didn't seem like he had it too many overs that way. Again, that's why we lose. If we lose, we beat ourselves. As long as we're losing because we're beating ourselves, I think that's fixable. Will it be fixed this year? I don't know, but I'm grateful to be a Chiefs fan. I'm thankful that this is the standard now. Now it's just a matter of us figuring out how to live up to that standard and continue forward as a football team.
Yeah.
Uh, I I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the exact solution is, but that's my general reaction to the game. Is I'm thankful to be a Chiefs fan. I'm grateful for the things that went really well. Um, but it seems like the things that aren't going well could very well cost us in the playoffs or the Super Bowl.
Yeah. 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 I'd agree with you is that the fact that with a receiver core that has struggled, the fact that we're a team that is one of the top for drop passes and one of the most penalized teams, and we're 7-3, is impressive. And the fact that we have hung with or beaten the best of them. Our defense is obviously legit after going against the Dolphins and the Eagles. The Eagles obviously put up 21 points, but they also had a lot of drives. They had a lot of opportunities, and our defense
Mm-hmm.
just gave them nothing. And I think like I want to play them again in the Super Bowl because I think I want to play them again in the Super Bowl because I kind of what you were saying. I think our problems
Okay.
are internal
Yeah.
and their problems are external. Um, our problems are penalties, dropped passes. Obviously, we need to practice the deep ball more because there's a couple miscommunications on receivers that were open. But the fact that with all of the drop
Mm-hmm.
passes and the penalties and the no call on holdings for their touchdown, the fact that the game literally
Yeah.
bounced out of our hands on the last big play, right? Like we were in that game, even with all that. So, will our receivers get it figured out this year? I hope so. That's like to what you said. If they do or don't, we're not sure yet. But I think the problems that we're going to face are internal. If they figure it out, we have a chance. We can beat anybody because I think what we saw in the Eagles is their problems are external. Um, their offensive line struggles against different blitz packages. Like we can keep them guessing, and it's rough for them. And Jalen Hurts' vision downfield while getting blitzed is not great. So anyway, I want to play them again because I think we showed we can beat them. Um, I'd rather
Yeah.
lose this game and beat them in the Super Bowl than do it the other way around. So I'll say that.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, I think you highlight some really key things. The Jalen Hurts lack of vision, and our defense. It's nice to have a lower standard for our offense
Mhm.
this year, but we need to get up to a higher standard than what we've been playing. So we'll see if the receivers again we're stuck with the personnel we have. There's no trades. Like again, signing anybody off the street's not going to change anything.
Mhm.
Um, so, but we do have some things working for us. So, yeah, I feel bad for Mahomes. I think he played a good game. I mean, he did have that interception, which I thought it was a little bit too cute or a little bit too like safer, but still catchable. You kind of see why he feels the need to say, "I need to get this perfectly for my receivers," which may have led to that interception.
Yeah.
So that wasn't great. The Travis Kelsey fumble, and again, we were in position to win. Like there's no like going away from it. Like there's no like looking at it be like, oh, there's no way we could have won that, or they really showed us. We haven't been blown out, um, except for I guess by the Broncos with 5 turnovers.
Yeah.
But and get better in that, and maybe that's part of just working with inexperienced players. Like the first half, you have a lot more mapped out plays that you do, and then the second half is all about adjustment. And if our players aren't doing a great job of adjusting, then maybe that's maybe part of the problem with their second half
Yeah.
that we've been playing. So, in any
Yeah.
case, we do need to get some, you know, practice catching some passes, right? We can do this. This is not hard, right? You just all right, for sure. I think there were too many, like frankly, and I don't know what Mahomes is saying. I thought there were too many passes to Justin Watson. I like him, but it's not like he's going to be super consistent every
Yeah.
play.
He had a couple of really
Um,
good catches, but he
so
also had a lot of drops.
a lot of the drops. Yeah, 11 targets is too many. Um, so I would rather he send it to. I mean, he sent a bunch to Rasheed Rice too, though. So like anything I would point to, like, hey, this is what we need to do. Play better, kind of. You just got to do better.
Yeah.
And things where we had so many ways we could have won, but we found a way to lose.
Yeah.
And so that's a little bit difficult. Anyway, what we can start working forward to the next game. You have any thoughts as we start looking forward to the next one? Let's shake it off,
Yep.
right?
Hmm.
Shake it off, just like Taylor Swift was doing wherever she was doing her concert. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
sorry, Travis, your favorite, good luck charm, not there.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
So,
losing where I'm going, but let's go to our next game.
yep, let's go to our next game. I think we've had a lot of games where we played sloppy and we won. So I think this will be good to help remind us like this was our game to lose. We were in a position to win. I don't think the Eagles walk away from this and say, "Man, we really dominated that." I think they walk away thinking, "Man, we pulled out a victory in a game that we were struggling." So we need to turn it around and we just go to the
Yeah,
next game and just put up a dominant front. Let's go back to where like the Bears where we put up 40 points. The only other thing I'd say is thanks for everyone who put up with all of our video issues today. I do have some weather outside here, which I think is affecting the internet quality at my house. Some wind and rain, but hopefully this comes together okay. If not, we'll just record more Eric giving us football analysis to fill in the gaps. Okay, well, I'm gonna blame
okay.
this one on the wind and rain going on outside too.
Yeah,
So sorry
yeah.
for everyone who had to put up with that. But Eric, why don't you sign us off for this one because your internet is working for you today.
Yeah. So not too much rain and wind over here. I think I'm thankful to be a Chiefs fan, and that's what I walk away with. I look forward to next game. I believe against Buffalo, uh, um, and the Bills, and I think we're going to be ready, and we're going to do well, and we're going to keep pushing forward with this defense and with this team. And it's nice to have a wider window than this year. It's about more than this year. It's about
Mhm.
more than this day. And I think that's a good thought as we go into Thanksgiving, just being grateful. It's more than just a day. It's, wow, another year that I can be thankful for so much. And as a Chiefs fan, I get to watch, one of the best quarterbacks ever to play the game, if not the best. And I get to watch him on Sunday throw passes, and it's frustrating with receivers miss it. But at least I have that quarterback for you know, Lord willing, the next 10 years to watch,
Yeah.
if not more. So I'm thankful to be a Chiefs fan, and I'm thankful to be able to be here with Joel and to kind of have some misery together. I was grateful to watch it with my family, and deal with the loss together. And just like, man, that's a bummer. We lost that game, and super frustrating. But there's just so much to be thankful for in life. And as a Chiefs fan, that I think that's what we should walk away thinking towards. Hey, I'm thankful for February. I'm thankful for January, and I'm excited to see what we do in the playoffs this year because I don't think there's any way we miss it. But for now, we're just gonna. It's tough, but we'll get back on. Get back at it on Sunday, and we'll again. I think we'll be back on track to being the Chiefs and winning football games and having a shot at the Super Bowl. I mentioned before. I think it's crazy that even after all our troubles and stuff, we're 7-3. The
Yeah.
Ravens are 8-3. Like, assuming we win out, we have the same record. It's very conceivable that we still get the 1 seed in the bye for the playoffs, which would be great. But we won the year without the bye. The first year that we won, so we don't need it.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to have it. We'll see how it goes. The Bengals, unfortunately, you never want to see a player injured, but losing Joe Burrow kind of takes them out of it. The Ravens are lost Mark Andrews, and I'm not. Well, it's kind of hard to know what they're going to be like in the playoffs. They haven't had the most success, so I think we have a really good shot at winning it all. Um, we have some real big issues with receivers, but if it's just 1 year, that's fine. And I think even with all that, we have a reasonable shot to be the people in the Super Bowl, maybe facing the same Eagles, like you were saying. That would be great. And have another rematch. That would be pretty amazing. And the Eagles are a great team. They've done a lot of things. They've drafted well. So would love, it's not embarrassing to lose to them. It was frustrating to lose in the way we did.
Mm.
Proud of our running game, proud of our defense. And so, yeah, let's catch some balls, right? Let's practice
Yeah.
doing that a little bit. And yeah, like there, here we go. Here we go. And then, just again, catch some time with your family. I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving. Look forward to seeing you all next week.
Yeah. Just to highlight one thing you said, if it lets me get a thought out, Chiefs fans need to remember this isn't the Mahomes year. This is the Mahomes era. So as long as that's going on, we should feel pretty good about life.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. Love it. And with that, let's
See ya.
see you all next week.
So long.